Hello everyone, this is K. Sadashiva. Welcome to my channel KLR Educators. Today we are going to launch a new course on World Modern History. In this course, I am going to cover in detail all the events. So we will be having a detailed discussion of all the events which I am going to cover in my videos. So parallelly both courses will be running on Thursdays and Sundays. On Thursdays we will be covering Indian modern history and on Sundays we will be covering World Modern History. So after completion of these topics, if you support me more, then I will start courses on economics and polity as well. So I need your support so that we can have courses on economics as well as polity. So share my channel with your friends who are preparing for various competitive examinations, which will be helpful for them a lot. So for PDF, you can follow me on Telegram. So let's start with our today's lecture. So before going to the topics, I want to tell you that what are the topics that I am going to cover in these videos. So first we'll be having the English Revolution. After that we'll be having American Revolution, French Revolution, Napoleon Bonaparte. Means we'll be having a detailed discussion on Napoleon Bonaparte, about his achievements and about the assessment of Napoleon Bonaparte. Withdrawal of boundaries, Vienna Convention and Metternich system, unification of Italy, unification of Germany, World War One, period of interwar between 1919 and 1939, the Treaty of Versailles, which is going to play a major role in the World War II, rise of Adolf Hitler, Mussolini and fascism, World War II, Russian Revolution, and finally American Civil War. So in these videos, in this World Modern History, I am going to cover all these topics in detail. So keep following me so that you will get everything about these topics, and I assure you that you don't have to refer any other material after watching my videos. So I request you to make running notes which will be helpful to you to revise things easily in future. English Revolution. So let's have a look on this English Revolution. So it is also known as Glorious Revolution or Bloodless Revolution. So why it is known as Glorious Revolution or Bloodless Revolution? So what was the reason? This revolution took place without shedding a drop of blood or firing a single shot. So there was no need of shedding any kind of blood, and also there was no need of firing any kind of bullets. That's the reason why this revolution took place in a peaceful way, and that is why it is known as bloodless revolution. When conflict between the king and the pope arose because the king didn't like the domination of the pope. So when the domination of pope was growing day by day, the king didn't like his domination and hence started to fight against this pope. So this gave rise for the conflict between the king and the pope. So church at that time was supreme in the country and the decision of the pope was final. So it was not the king but the pope who was taking the final decision, and the church was supreme at that time. The Tudor dynasty kings refused to accept the authority of the pope who was head of the Roman Catholic Church. So the Tudor dynasty kings who were ruling at that time refused to accept the authority of the pope who was head of the Roman Catholic Church. Since an idea of British nationalism was emerging and the people started to know about democracy, they questioned the authority of the king. So soon after, a feeling of nationalism was emerging among the people, and when the people started to learn about democracy, they started to question the authority of the king. In 1603, when James I of Stuart dynasty became the king of England, he disputed the powers of the parliament to question him. So soon when James I in the year 1603 came into power, he started to suppress the power of the parliament to question him. He believed in such a way that the powers of the king were given by the god and the king ruled by divine right. So he believed that the power of the king were given by the god directly. So he will be the supreme and no one will question him. That's the reason why he believed that the parliament should not and cannot control him. Later, when Charles I came to power, he dissolved the parliament and ruled for 11 years without the parliament. So after James I, Charles I came to the power. Now he will directly dissolve the parliament and he ruled without parliament for 11 years. So you can understand. So James I was suppressing the power, where Charles I directly he dissolved the parliament and ruled for 11 years. So this is the image of Charles I who was ruling at that time. But in the year 1640, when he was forced to convene the parliament for giving special grants as he needed money to fight some wars. So in the year 1640, Charles I was forced to give permission to run the parliament. Why? Parliament can only give assent to grant money for the king to fight some wars. So this is the reason why the king needed parliament to give permission for granting the money which he needed for fighting the wars. This parliament later punished the officers and the ministers of Charles I. It tried to abolish all the bodies that were established by the king. So when parliament came into power, it started to punish all the ministers and officers of Charles I, and also it abolished all the bodies that were established by the king. So Charles I tried to take advantage of the differences within the parliament and tried to subjugate his opponents. So Charles I, what he did, when he came to know about the differences that were existing among the members of the parliament, tried to take advantage of these differences and he tried to subjugate his opponents. This initiated a civil war between the king and the parliament. So rift which was going on between the king and the parliament was converted into a civil war, and finally in this civil war Charles I got defeated in the year 1649, and then England became republic. One of the images of the civil war between the king and the parliament of the British. But this experiment of republic didn't last long, and eventually in 1688 William of Orange and his wife Mary were invited by the parliament to occupy the throne of England. So when this experiment of republic failed, William of Orange and his wife Mary were invited by the parliament to occupy the throne of England. The powers of the king were reduced and parliament became supreme. Now the powers of the king was reduced and now the parliament will be supreme. In this way the British Revolution changed the face of England. Now the people will elect their representative through elections. So now this process of elections was initiated in England. But these voting rights were given only to limited people. You have to understand that voting rights were not given to all the citizens, but it was limited only to few people who were educated and from elite class. So when common people began to agitate for the right to vote and reforms, in the year 1832, voting rights were extended to more people, and eventually by 1928 it was extended to all the adults. So when the common people didn't like this discrimination, they started to fight against the parliament of the British. So in the year 1832, these voting rights were extended to more people, and finally in the year 1928, it was extended to all the adults. So we are lucky that in our Indian constitution, these voting rights from the beginning were given to all the citizens. That's the greatness of our country. Thus, the parliamentary form of government grew in stages. So in Britain, the parliamentary form of government grew in stages. So we have completed our today's session. Hope you understood everything about the English Revolution. In our upcoming class, we are going to discuss about the American Revolution. So if you like my video, please give a like. Please share these videos to your friends who are preparing for many competitive examinations. And also please subscribe my channel if you haven't subscribed yet. So you'll be getting all the updates about the videos that I'm going to upload on my channel. So please subscribe my channel. So thank you one and all. Jai Hind.